Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to my next narrated Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. Today's battle is a match I had against someone by the name of MaxTheBest, who I met in the Smogon Wi-Fi Battle Finder, and he told me he was a subscriber when he challenged me, which is pretty cool. But he decided to bring a mix of OU and UU Pokemon, whereas I decided to bring one of my NU teams that I've been wanting to try out for a little while, mainly because I'm using a defensive Charizard set I made a few months ago, but never really got much use out of it because I didn't really put it on any teams I was using. But this set is a lot of fun to use, and I'll talk a little bit more about it as the battle progresses. I also realized that Charizard and Seeking work extremely well together as a defensive pair. And I'm also using a reversal Kangaskhan set, which you guys have seen, a Scarfed Electabuzz, and then Golurk and Cacturne to set up entry hazards. But let's just jump right into it right now. So my opponent leads off with this Forretress, as I decide to lead off with my Charizard. Now normally this is a bad matchup for Forretress, except I don't actually pack an attacking move in the Fire Stab side with my Charizard. I only actually have Air Slash on this Charizard, so I'm not actually able to hurt it super effectively, but I did want to get off a burn on it to break the sturdy and also make its attacking options pretty much useless against any of my Pokemon now that its attack is going to be halved. But he does get off a Toxic on me, which is pretty frustrating because I wasn't expecting it, and I do also have Substitute on this Charizard to basically make me immune to status, things like that. But unfortunately he does get the Toxic, but on this following turn I do switch out in my Golurk, knowing that I can pretty much freely sit on my entry hazard, so I might as well at this point. I see that my opponent is laying down layers of spikes. He actually gets up his third layer on this turn while I get out my Stealth Rock, but he can't Rapid Spin them away because Golurk is a Ghost type, which is really cool because you can set up Stealth Rocks for free pretty much on anything. But anyways, seeing as I'm in a pretty good position right here, I just take the opportunity to go for Dynamic Punch. The only thing on his team that would really be able to resist that would be if he switched into Ditto, but I really wasn't expecting that. But luckily for me, I get the Confusion on the first turn, which means he's going to hit himself and also bring himself down to a range where I know that Earthquake is going to be able to kill, because obviously Earthquake being Stab is going to be a little bit more powerful than Dynamic Punches here. But now he goes into Jolteon, and seeing as he packs the Air Balloon as you saw right there, I do have to go for a Dynamic Punch, so I'm not able to one-shot this Jolteon. Dynamic Punch does do a significant amount of damage though, bringing him into a range where if he wants to switch in again, his the Stealth Rocks are going to kill him, which is really good for me. But he does go for the Yawn here, so I do have to switch out so I don't get put to sleep. So I went into my Seeking to potentially sponge an electric move if he wanted to predict the switch, but obviously Seeking with the Lightning Rod ability is immune to electric type moves. And me now staying in because I expected this Togekiss to be a special variant, I just go for the knockoff to maybe get rid of its leftovers, but as you saw right there, it's actually a physical variant with Life Orb. So this kind of stinks for me because now my Seeking isn't really going to be too useful for the rest of the battle. But I do go into my Golurk here, predicting the extreme speed, but obviously if you are a Hustle Togekiss, Air Slash is the best option because it cannot miss and you still get the attack boost from Hustle. But now that I knocked off his Life Orb, I'm actually able to live 2 of these, which is really nice for me because I'm able to get off a huge hit on this Togekiss with another Dynamic Punch. But unfortunately luck is not on my side twice in a row. My opponent does break through the Confusion and gets off an Aerial Ace again to KO my Golurk. Now knowing that I could probably live any hit from this Togekiss just because this is, as I said, a bulky Charizard, he goes for extreme speed here. As you see, it only does about like 140 points of damage, and I'm able to easily KO it with Air Slash on the following turn. Now here he does decide to go into his Jolteon, maybe thinking he could live the entry hazard damage or get up a free turn of poison on me, but unfortunately when your opponent does die from entry hazards, it doesn't count as a next turn, so I don't actually lose health from poison damage, which is really cool. But anyways, he goes into Hitmonlee here, and now me predicting the Fake Out, I decided to go into my Seeking to just die, so now he can't actually get the Unburden ability to activate with this normal gem, meaning that I'm able to actually freely bring in my Electabuzz right here and just go for whatever move I want because I'm going to outspeed because Unburden isn't activated. So I do go for the Thunderbolt right here. It actually does a really good amount of damage on this Metagross, which I thought was very surprising at the time. But I do get the Paralysis here, which is kind of okay, but honestly I would rather a burn on this Metagross because I'm going to switch out in the following turn predicting the Earthquake to my Charizard, and I probably could have just burned it right here, which would have helped me a lot, but unfortunately he is paralyzed. But I guess on the bright side, I do pack Air Slash, as I said, so I can go for some para flinching right here. I go for air slash. I do get the flinch on the first one, which is really nice. And I guess my opponent predicted me that, or assumed that I went for air slash as maybe like a prediction or something, and that I was going to go for a fire move on the next turn. So he does switch out into his Hitmonlee, thinking I was probably going to go for that. But as I said, air slash is my only attacking move, so I'm able to get off a huge chunk of damage on this Hitmonlee, meaning that it's going to be a lot easier to, revenge kill on the following turn. He does go for Fake Out here. I really had nothing else to take it. I didn't have a switch to prevent it anymore, so he's going to get the Unburden ability to activate while my Charizard does go down. However, from this range of health, I'm pretty sure a Sucker Punch will be able to kill this Hitmonlee, even though it is resisted, and luckily for me, I'm able to do just that. Cacturne has a ridiculous attacking stat. It's really cool to be able to fire off Sucker Punches like that. But anyways, here, he does go into his Metagross. I go for a Drain Punch first to try and recover a little bit of HP. I'm not really sure what he wanted to go for here. He does get the Paralysis though, but I know that he obviously wants to attack in this situation, so I'm actually pretty free to just go for Sucker Punch, even though obviously I'm faster than him anyway, but Sucker Punch would have been the most powerful move to hit this Metagross with. So I'm able to take that out, and now all he has left is his Ditto. Now I do pack Drain Punch on my Cacturne, so I was kind of expecting him to go for that here. He just goes for Sucker Punch anyway, and I calc this after the battle. Because Cacturne is a higher HP than Ditto, he actually wouldn't have been able to one-hit KO me with Drain Punch, whereas I would have been able to, because obviously Ditto can only have a max of 300 HP, and it already took Stealth Rock damage. So that was pretty much the game. He went for Sucker Punch, obviously, to probably get some priority on whatever else on my team, but at that point in the battle, it was pretty much over. So thank you again, Max, for the battle. Also, if you did not notice, I am uploading this video in HD. I figured out how to do it recently. It does take a lot longer to make videos this way, but they look a lot nicer, so I hope you all appreciate that. But anyways, that was it for this battle, so as always, take care, goodbye, and I will see you all next time.